Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Rangers review. It's press conference. It's team news reaction time. Me and Stevie are in the Bills of Hampden. We're in the press room. We've just had a lovely helping of chicken and potatoes, and the Rangers team has just dropped, and we're going to bring it up shortly. I've not done my homework. I've not brought it up on the screen just yet, but I'll do it just in this very second. There we go. This is how Rangers are going to line up this afternoon, folks, against Celtic at Hampden in the Scottish Cup final. Rangers lining up with Butland in goal, a back four of Tavernier, Balogun, Davis. Ridvan makes the game, which is headline news. Raskin and Diamande in the middle. Cantwell, Sterling and Silva supporting Cyril Dessers up top. On the bench for Rangers, McCrory, Lundstrom, Jack, Matondo, Sima, Dill, Wright, McCausland and McKinnon. Stevie, your initial reaction to that starting 11?
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I'm relieved it wasn't the 11 that you selected this morning on social medias, mate. So I think anyone that's seen that would have panicked a wee bit. But I suppose drinking at that time of the morning is really good fun.
I'm sobering up now.
But yeah, listen, I like it. I like it. Considering all the injuries, Derek, and everything that could have happened, I really like it. And it's probably about as good as it gets. Yeah. I think. I'm really positive Ridvan has made it. That's a big one. And Balogun's made it as well. So these are huge. We need a big performance. And then it's a midfield we've all asked for. How many times have we said, give us the energy of Raskin, Diamande, Sterling, Cantwell. Give us that youthful legs. Give us that in there. We've got it. Silva on the left has played well recently, whether we like it or not, right? I know he's not a favourite. I think that's quite clear. But he's played quite well. I think Silva might have an impact today. And then Big Dessers up front, at no doubt, at some point during the day, he'll take on about 8 players and then try and score. So, I'm positive. I think that is genuinely about as best as I could. So, if you'd asked me all week, Derek, where are we going to do this and are we positive, I probably would have said not a chance. But I just have a feeling today that maybe something might happen. So, let's go out and at least give it our best shot.
Yeah. Before we get stuck into the team, a few comments coming in. Of course, there was a big event taking place at Ibrox earlier on this afternoon. The Walter Smith statue unveiling, which was a fantastic occasion to be a part of. A few comments coming in just off the back of it. We live streamed it, of course. Timothy Sharp says, watch the official Rangers Walter tribute video, brought tears to my eyes. What a legend. I mean, that's some of that spirit today. And Blue Nose John, who's tuning in from Germany, says, I had tears in my eyes at that statue unveiling. Quite magnificent bronze statue of Walter, and great atmosphere at Ibrox at the ground a little earlier on, and the fans cheered the team as they left the stadium to make their way to Hampden. But you've seen the statue, Stevie, big fan?
Absolutely. I think it's a wonderful job, and we've had to wait a while for it. I think the most important thing was that it was as good as we probably could have made it, and I think it is, Derek. I think it's a wonderful tribute to somebody that was, without doubt, a magnificent man in our history. So let's go and do this today for Walter. It would be wonderful to get a picture of the squad outside that statue later on tonight.
Yeah,
and I think that would be where I am with it. Walter was the nicest guy to meet, to speak to. He had a very dry sense of humour, and he was a magnificent leader for Rangers. And the thing is as well, that if he had been the manager today, it's like having an extra man on that pitch, the way he used to set them up. And I lost count of the amount of times I used to watch Walter teams win 1-0. So I think it'd be a wonderful thing today if we could do this for on the day that we unveil Walter's statue. So let's hope the players can get a wee bit of inspiration from it.
Yeah, when I left the Albion car park after the statue unveiling, we passed Bomber, Gordon Dury and Willie Henderson. So how would love players of that calibre in that Rangers team today. But let's talk about the team that will take on Celtic this afternoon. The big news is obviously Ridvan, we touched on, Stevie. Leon Balogun coming back is big for me. We've seen Leon King play in the last couple of games, of course. Balogun, the manager, did say prior to the game that he will be giving players up until today to prove their fitness, and Balogun has made it, which I think is big news. Him in the back line, is it not?
It's huge news. And what is interesting is, Derek, on the bench there's no defenders.
Yeah.
So we know that Cole McKinnon can maybe play it right back, but there's no centre halves there. So Balogun and Davis are going to have to play this game, unless I don't even want to say it out loud.
Is that a concern then, Stevie?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Like, people will start booing me when I say this, but John Lundstrom's probably the only one that can sit at centre back. So there is. You would think that if Balogun's made
Sterling
this,
can move there.
Well, but I think if Balogun's made it, he's made it because he's going to play that 90. Sterling's had injuries as well. Can he play the 90? There's so many question marks. So I think that Balogun being back is huge. I'm really pleased that he's in there, and Davis next to him. Davis, I'm not a huge fan of.
No,
I've had kind of issues and concerns.
No
That goal at Parkhead, I wanted him out quicker, try and block that, but he's capable of performing. So maybe we can get that today. But as I said to you, that back four, Super Jack's always going to play anyway. But I think that's probably as best as we can get. And the midfield is what I've been crying out for. So I've asked for it, I've got it, and I think that midfield's exciting. Yeah. So let's see.
Yeah, staying with the back line, I get absolute pelters from my predicted team this morning, chuckling away there. But a concern of mine, I said it during the week, is James Tavernier. He's not in form at this moment in time. I'd imagine Celtic will look to exploit not just the right-hand flank, but down the left as well. But more so, he's had a torrid time up against Daizan Maeda in Old Firm games before, Stevie. How do Rangers nullify that threat, and how we need James Tavernier to really turn up today, do we not?
Yeah, I would think that it's a big role for Dujon Sterling as well. He's obviously got to get back in there and cover him.
Yes.
And I think there'll be a lot of work for Dujon. He might even sacrifice going forward as much as kind of covering. Raskin will obviously sit in as well. Big job for Cantwell then to go and push and make sure that the gap between the middle and the forwards doesn't become massive. Cantwell's got to make sure that happens. And I think that, Balogun, he's got a wee bit of pace in there. Balogun's not massively pacey, but he's got enough there that he can get out there and help as well. So, you might find that Tavernier and Sterling kind of dovetail and swap about a wee bit. So that is a huge concern. But listen, James Tavernier is capable, right? He's absolutely capable. But what we need from James Tavernier is not to wait for a setback before he turns up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's guilty too many times of getting something happening to him, and then he takes a knock from it and doesn't reset. But if you look at the second half at Ibrox in the 3-3 game, Hampden had a horrible first half. He then recovers, scores a penalty. He's capable, Derek. It's just about, and this is massive not only for James Tavernier but for the whole team. Please start well.
Yeah.
How many times have we not done it? Start well, start fast. And then if it doesn't go well for Rangers today, at least do it on our own terms, not on terms of us making mistakes and us not reacting until we're 2-0 down.
I know.
That's all I want. And if we're not good enough, fine. Okay, fine. We're about to change everything in the summer and that. I get it. But go and do this on our own terms today. Leave absolutely everything out there and go and get stuck in. That's a midfield that I can really get behind. Yeah,
it's the basics Rangers need to take care of today. We don't want any disasters in defence and being masters of their own downfall. No own goals, no people getting sent off, no moments of madness, please, Rangers this afternoon.
And if they do lose a goal as well, Derek, it's huge.
Keep the head.
Yeah. Don't go and lose a second one as soon as they lose the first one. So, there's a lot to kind of think about it. And the comments in the press are, Derek, just on Thursday there about the moments, taking our moments and making sure that we do our things right, I think are absolutely spot on. So, interesting.
As we all know, we're on Instagram Live. There's an interesting question that's popped in there I wanted to flag up here from Grant Mackay. He says, could it be possible a 4-3-2-1 with a flat midfield three? I think that would be more efficient in combating their midfield. Do you think he's got a point there, a three in the middle? Cantwell, we know. Do you think he'll be allowed to drift, or do you think he'll be given a specific job by the manager to track someone in the Celtic midfield who we know have got the better of Rangers in recent matches?
We shout out from a boy, Grant. I've known Grant for a long time. When I used to sit in the Sandy Jardine front, more or less right next to me. So he's a good lad. Answer to the question, could it be a flat three? I think we'll go man for man. So I think that you'll see Cantwell try and push on to McGregor. I wouldn't see that being any other way. Celtic team is what we expected it to be.
Yeah.
So, it's a flat middle. At times it might be. So I think they will try. I think Cantwell will try and nullify McGregor's space. Now, he's not been able to do it before. He did do it in the 3-0 game last year, which was a dead rubber.
Yeah.
Could we argue it was a dead rubber? He didn't do it at New Year. Was he a wee bit injured in that? I think he was. So we rely on Todd Cantwell. And look, see, to be honest, without being harsh, and everybody knows I'm a massive fan of Todd Cantwell, he's spoken a lot. It's time for him to really put in that signature appearance for Rangers. And this is it. You wanted that. He wants this. He wants to be the centre of the team.
He needs to stand up, Stevie. Yeah.
He wants everything. So here's your opportunity to go and do it.
Yeah, he's not done it enough for me. We were discussing, I think, when we were on the video last week about the number of big games that he's actually stepped up and really made a difference.
Sure.
The Europa League game against Sparta Prague is the only one that rings to my mind.
Mm-hmm.
I know you touched on the Celtic game, but we need him. This is why he was brought to the club, because he's a difference maker, isn't he? He can win this game himself. He set up the 2 goals for Celtic Odessas in the semi. We need him to be on top of his game today.
We absolutely do. But he's not the only one. So without kind of singling him out, we need Diamandi to play, because Diamandi's not arguably been the same. You know what I mean? Raskin, we need him to perform. So this is huge for everybody, but there's such an opportunity. Such an opportunity for these players, Derek, to go and have signature Rangers moments. Yeah. Right? Cyril Dessers, we've all been on his back all season. He's got 22 goals. He scored at Parkhead last time. Arguably should have scored did score at Ibrox, but then gets ruled out.
Off. Yeah.
He could have his big moment today.
And
we'd all love it. We'd all love it. So it could be massive, and let's just hope that somebody has, I don't care, ladies and gentlemen, who it is, it could go off somebody's bum and go in for all I care. Just go and do it.
Yeah.
So, but it's as Scott says there, it is make or break for a few of them, and he's absolutely right. But it's also a chance to completely flip your whole career at Rangers.
Absolutely.
If Cantwell goes and storms this today, if Dessers goes and storms this today, then what happens is that the whole outlook of how Rangers fans feel about them and all that completely changes. So it's all there, and that would be it for me today.
Yeah.
Not only in a cup final, not only are you representing Rangers and everything else, but you've got a massive chance to go and become a hero and go and do all that. And it's just, it's if you want to be a footballer, it's where you want to be. So, I mean, it's
all there for them today, isn't it?
It's all there, mate. Absolutely.
Let's get to some of the comments that are coming in. Derek H says, thank goodness for your live show, pacing the house and garden, and can now be distracted for 20 minutes. Yeah, no problem at all, Derek. You're very welcome. Dane the Life says, who's on the bench, lads? If you can see the ticker below, buddy, you can see the team in its entirety. The Rangers bench: McCrory, Lundstrom, Jack Matondo, Seema Dill, Wright, McCausland and McKinnon. We touched on it. Very offensive options on there for the manager. Good to have Rabbi Matondo back as an option, Stevie.
Yeah, he's a curveball cameo type of thing, isn't he? So he can certainly produce. He's done it before. I'd just love to be able to be in a position where we're still in this game 75-80 minutes. Maybe, dare I say it, maybe we've even sneaked a wee goal somewhere, and we're still in this game. And then you bring on Rabbi, and if they're going forward, then he's the type that can exploit it a wee bit. So Rabbi Matondo coming on when you're 2-0 down isn't really much use. So we need to stay in this game. The manager said that this 11 that started won't be the 11 that finishes. Yes. You might say that's an obvious comment, but it's going to be interesting to see, when you see so many offensive players, like you said, how are they going to swap that about? Would you say to Sterling and Cantwell and Silva, Dessers, etc., go and empty that tank for 60 minutes and then we're swapping these out? Because Seema Matondo then coming on, Derek, is really interesting. So we need to keep in this game. We need to keep tight, and we just need to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes as we always do. That's massive for us.
Yeah, we touched on players being make or break. Nico Raskin has come in recent games. Nico Raskin fan. I mean, he hasn't really set the heather alight this season. He has been injured at various points, and he hasn't been given a chance in certain games under the manager, which surprised me. I thought he would really blossom under a Belgian coach. Hasn't quite happened, but his quality is there, Stevie. He's another one that can really take this game by the scruff of the neck, can't you, if he's on form? Yeah,
I like him. I do. Got a soft spot for him. So he's a player that I like. He's somebody that can press. He's somebody that can harry. And you know what he does that other midfielders that we have don't? He kicks. Right? And what I mean by that, folks, is you don't want people going out there injuring people. That's not what I'm suggesting. But what I'm saying is, by kicking, tactical fouls and things like that, and he disrupts.
Yeah.
Right now at Parkhead, if people watch that game back, when Nico Raskin came on, he did it a lot to McGregor, just nipping, and he stops him playing, and it disrupts everything. And McGregor, if he's allowed to dictate, will just stroll about. But if Raskin goes and pushes and we press and we kick and we harry, then I think that we'll get joy in there. Raskin's a player that can do that, and by the way, Raskin can shoot.
Yeah,
Raskin's got the ability to scalp it as well, so we need that from midfield. I would really love the wee fella to have a game. I really like him. He's a really nice boy. He's tremendous to speak and deal with. And I think that on the park, I think people are right. He hasn't really shown up, right? And I get that. But in the last couple of games, I've seen something in there that I think we can get out of him. And I also think as well, Derek, that he had a horrible injury, and we maybe don't realise how long it takes players just to get back into it and get into the swing of it. It's so difficult.
Yeah.
So, and that's what Kyle says there about tactical fouls, streetwise, being cute and things like that. That is what I was trying to do.
Yeah.
Or try to say that's what Raskin does, and he breaks it up so much because like he'll win and he'll nip, and especially on McGregor. If you watch that at Parkhead, 2-1 down, or with 10 men, we should have been out that game. But he came on and he changed it because of his ability to really get in there. So, I like him, I really do, and I hope that that's what I mean about people having their big moments. Go and have your big moment, Nico. Like, go and grasp it. This is it.
Absolutely. Just this is how Celtic line up, folks. Hart, Alistair Johnston, Carter Vickers, Scales, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly, Hatate, Forrest, Maida, and Kyogo. So probably as strong as Brendan Rodgers could possibly go there. Stevie, what do you make of that team?
Well,
there's threats in there, isn't it? I mean, the midfield's a key for me.
Look, I don't think we're here really to kind of talk them up or anything, but it'd be naive not to say that McGregor, O'Reilly, and Hattie weren't a really good midfield three, because they are.
Yeah.
And if we allow it, they'll hurt us. O'Reilly will hurt us if we let him have shots away from the box. James Forrest, he seems about 49-year-old or something, but he's just back, isn't he? Playing form, and he seems to have been around for ages and ages, but he's a player. Maeda, we know, is difficult for Tab to deal with.
Yes.
And Kyogo can finish. He always doesn't have the best games against us, Kyogo, but gets half a chance and tucks away. So, I mean, there's threats everywhere. However, I'm not convinced Alistair Johnston's the best defender. I'm not convinced that Greg Taylor is the best defender, and I'm certainly not convinced that Liam Scales is either. Carter Vickers, a big, strong guy, so he can deal with Dessers, but we should be looking to play off of those people in there. And O'Reilly and Hatate, right, will be full on for 60 minutes, and then they'll fade as well. So we've got to stick in this game, and I thought for the first 20-30 minutes at Parkhead, although we got away with it slightly, we were still in it. We need to be in the same as that today, and we've got to make sure that if something bad happens and they do score or whatever, then we need to recover and not let them go and get another 2 or 3 or whatever. So it's a strong team. I think we all could have predicted what they were going to do, and that comes with advantages for us as well, because we have plenty of time then to figure out how we're going to stop it, or at least try. So big day for the manager to tactically get it right, but we've beaten better sides than this in the past. This is not the strongest Celtic sides, even in the last 2 or 3 years.
My worry, though, Stevie, is they've got a mental edge over Rangers.
Yeah, they do.
Which
it's a cup final and it's a one-off. So, you need to get over that.
I know. You mentioned there Alistair Johnston, and I agree. I don't think he is the greatest right back of all time. Fabio Silva had a decent game, I thought, at Parkhead against him.
And one-on-ones, he's strong.
Yes.
But if you watch positionally, he gets caught by somebody running behind him quite a lot. And watch out for that today. If we can try and exploit that from Johnson, I think positionally he gets lost a wee bit. And I think that Silva, it's got the capability as well. And as I said at the start, I know it's not popular, Silva's actually come on to something. So I wonder.
Good goal at the weekend against Hart. Good anticipation.
And if he could, that's what I mean. That kind of movement where the fullback gets caught. I think Johnson's capable of getting caught like that. So I really think there's joy to be had there as Silva. Silva got 2 clear opportunities at Parkhead. 2. The header he should have burst the net. The volley, I get it. It was difficult from the side, but that was the way he came in from Johnston. If we get an opportunity like that today, we need to take it.
Has to score. The guy itself, Fabio Silva's goal at Tynecastle, is on the bench. He scored a beauty as well. Ross McCausland, could he consider himself perhaps unfortunate not to start today's game?
Yeah, and I think if Ridvan hadn't made it, he probably would. I think that McCausland's just a wee bit unlucky and guilty of the fact that the others have been fit and made it. So I feel sorry for him. But, when I done my stuff, a couple of weeks ago, Derek, and we were talking about who stays and who goes, and I was saying that Ross McCausland could be a big player for us in the future. A lot of people had kind of scathing remarks about that. Ross McCausland's a good player. He had another one with a horrendous injury, kept him out the best part of 3 months. 10 to 12 weeks he was out. And it was a horrible challenge. These things take time to get over, and then you've seen in the last couple of games, albeit arguably you might say dead rubbers, but he is capable of coming on. So it's another option from the bench. But in order to get these substitutions to be, profitable for us, we need to stop being the game, and that's huge for us, because they will come and try and swamp us. They will try and kill us, swamp us in the first 30 minutes. I think there's nothing sure of that. The way that he spoke, talking about wanting another Kilmarnock performance and everything else, they will come for us straight away. But that works two ways, because if they don't manage
gaps in behind, don't they?
If they don't manage it, they'll tail off a wee bit, and then we can come into it. So,
see, this game's different. No, you heard John Lundstrom before the Parkhead game saying they have to weather the storm for the first 20 minutes, which I want Rangers teams to go out. I wanted the Rangers team to go out there and take the game to Celtic. I knew where he was coming from, but this is a cup final. We're not at Parkhead. I want Rangers to go at Celtic from the off. However, do you think Celtic, given the way games have gone in the past, that Rangers will look to soak up, like you say there, and then try and hit on the break perhaps? Is this team capable of going for the jugular and pressing high immediately from kickoff?
Look, history would tell you no, because we've seen it, haven't we? And we've also seen that this team haven't been able to do it on the past. But it's a different selection today. That, Silva, Cantwell, Sterling, Diamande, Raskin, that's energy, that's
legs in
legs.
there. Yeah.
So can they press? I think they probably can. The difference of pressing is when you do decide to go, you have to go and actually do it and make sure you don't get cut out. So it's easy to play around. I think that's where Desser's press has to be better. At Parkhead, his press was very obvious and he wasn't doing it right. Seen how frustrated Tom Lawrence was getting with that.
Yeah.
So, and we were getting easily played around. But that comes with its kind of advantages from the point of view is if they're going to try and do that and play and we're going to press, then there's mistakes to be had. You seen it the other night. Bayer Leverkusen, one of the best teams in the world, unbeaten, romped the German league, thrashing Bayern Munich and everything else, and Atalanta totally spooked them. Now, folks, I'm not saying that we've got players as good as Atalanta and everything else, but what I'm saying to you, Derek, is that if you get it right and you get that press right and you do it in unison and you unruffle or unnerve the other teams, then you've got a chance. Yeah.
Interestingly, no Lawrence in the squad today. Stephanie with a point here. She says, let me just get the comment up. What am I doing here? She says, was that Danny Dyer walking past?
I would love it.
yeah. I think from his last trip up for the Old Firm game, as the famous video shows, maybe he's pooped his pants about coming. Pooped his pants about coming back up for an Old Firm game. But very much looking forward to this final. We will be back on full time, folks. Hopefully we're joyous and celebrating a cup double for Rangers and finishing the season on a high after the disappointing league campaign. But that Rangers team once again, Butland in goal, Tavernier, Balogun, Davis, Rudvan, Raskin, Diamande, Cantwell, Sterling, Silva and Dessers. So plenty of content to come your way. That Walter unveiling statue video is on YouTube. You can go and check that out as well in the lead up to kickoff. Right, big thanks to Stevie and to each and every one of you for tuning in.
A positive Stevie, Derek.
Positive Stevie as well.
It's never seen on Rangers Review. So
let's hope you're still smiling after about 2 hours.
I've got a weird feeling. Maybe it's the chicken or something. I don't know. But
score prediction. How do you think it's going to end up?
2-1 Rangers.
2-1. Okay.
So honestly, I really would be absolutely magnificent. I can't wait for Joshua to tell us to sit down, Derek, if we are winning 2-1 in that press country. So, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I hope we're all smiling come the post-match video.
Yeah, absolutely. And no problem at all, Bill. Thank you for tuning in as ever. And we'll speak to you a little later on. Bye.